We are only 3 weeks out from the Aarhus Half Marathon, and in the upcoming week is going to be the peak week of this training block. So in this video I'm going to take you with me on every single run to show you what I will be doing in the upcoming week. Because I just did a fairly challenging workout today, which you can see in my latest video, tomorrow's run is not going to be anything particularly challenging, but we are just headed out for a short 8-kilometer run in zone 2. It's Monday morning and I just woke up about 20 minutes ago, and the first thing that I did was just some activation exercises, and now we are headed directly out for the 8-kilometer run because I'm going to work afterwards. 8 kilometers done in 37 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 34 seconds per kilometer. As most of you know, I always eat a bowl of oatmeal with a banana on top before I do my long runs every weekend. But throughout the weekdays, all my trainings is done as the first thing in the morning. So I will always be eating my breakfast afterwards. And my breakfast is actually just the same thing every single day. And it's always a bowl of some kind of berries. And today it's strawberries, but it could as well have been blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, or anything that I just feel like eating. And then besides that, I'm also having a good bowl of oatmeal with a good mixture of a lot of seeds and raisins and crushed almonds to get some good proteins and fat alongside with the carbohydrates from the oatmeal and raisins. So now I will just eat my breakfast and head off to work, and then I will see you in the afternoon. I just made it back to the apartment after work, and there's nothing left in terms of training of today. The only thing left is that I'm going to do my stretching routine after I've eaten my dinner, but nothing in terms of running workouts. Before I leave you for today, I would just like to go through what we're going to do for tomorrow's workout. And tomorrow it's Tuesday, which means that we are headed down to the track, and the workout is just going to start with a bit of a warm-up. And then when we are down at the track, we are going to do 5 times 1.2 kilometers with a 1 minute rest in between each of the intervals. And then afterwards, we're just going to do a little bit of cool down to head back to the apartment. Besides that, I don't have anything more to say today, and I will just see you tomorrow morning. It's Tuesday morning and I've just woken up, and very similar to yesterday, I've done my activation exercises before we head straight out for the run. The only thing that has changed is that I've also eaten a banana from the start of the morning, so I can get a bit of carbohydrates in the system before we head out to do the 5 times 1.2 kilometers at the track, because this training is going to be quite higher intensity than yesterday. So I would like to have a bit of carbohydrates with me when I'm headed out the door. Now I will get going, and then I will see you when I've finished the workout. 13 kilometers done in 57 minutes at an average pace of 4 minutes and 18 seconds per kilometer. Another great run in the bank, and now I'm just headed inside to have some breakfast. And after yesterday, you already know what I'm going to eat for breakfast. Then after that, I'm just headed back to work again. So I will just see you after work in the afternoon. I just made it back home from work, and now I'm actually going to do a strength training here in the afternoon, which is something I do twice a week, every single week, to maximize my injury prevention. And I always place them in the afternoon on the days where I do quite a hard effort. So I typically do it on Tuesday and Thursday, because then I know I either have a rest day or an easy day the day afterwards. Even though my legs is probably going to be pretty fatigued tomorrow, it doesn't matter because it is either a rest day or an easy day. And in terms of what I will be doing, it's a lot of running specific strength exercises in the lower body and also a lot of core exercises, and the entire training is about 45 minutes of work. So I will just get the training done, and then I will see you afterwards. I just finished up the strength training, and now I quickly wanted to talk you through how the run actually went this morning. And as I said, we had to do 5 times 1.2 kilometers down at the track, and I think it went very well. I will just put the intervals up on the screen, and as you can see, I averaged an pace of 3 minutes and 28 seconds throughout all the intervals, which I'm very happy about. If I can just keep this pace of about 10 seconds faster than race pace, and still increasing the interval distance every single week, I think it's a great sign that I'm building some speed into the legs. And speed is something that I really think is important in terms of doing the half marathon, especially coming off the build for the Copenhagen Marathon. So besides that, I don't have anything else for today, and I will just head out and get some dinner in a few moments. Besides that, tomorrow is actually going to be a rest day without any running. The only thing that I'm going to do is head off to work and then do my stretching routine, either in the morning or in the evening, depending on what I feel like. So therefore, I will first see you again on Thursday. But just before I head out, I would just like to present to you what we're going to do on Thursday. And as usual, we're going to start with a warm-up, and then afterwards we are headed into a 8-kilometer tempo run, which is followed by a cool down as usual. So a pretty simple run, which is going to be quite a hard effort again, and will definitely also be a test to my current fitness. So now I don't have anything else to say, and I will just see you Thursday morning. It's Thursday morning, and as you have probably already guessed, I just did my activation exercises to get ready for the run. And very similar to Tuesday morning, I just took a energy gel. Like I ate a banana Tuesday morning to get some carbohydrates, because today's run is also a bit higher intensity because we're headed out for a 8-kilometer tempo run. So I'm just going to get out there, and then I will see you afterwards. 13 kilometers done in 52 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 1 second per kilometer. I will say maybe it's raining, but I shouldn't have worn long sleeves because this was so incredibly hot. But I actually don't have time to chat because I'm just headed inside to get my usual breakfast, and then I'm heading off to work again. And because it's Thursday, I will just see you again in the afternoon when it's time for us to do some strength training. I just returned back home from work, and the plan is now to do my second strength training of the week. And as I mentioned on Tuesday, I do my strength training routine twice a week on my hard days. So I'll just get this training done and see you afterwards so we can talk a little bit about this morning's run. I just finished the strength training, and now I wanted to talk a bit about this morning's run. And as I explained yesterday, I wanted to do a 8-kilometer tempo run just to assess where my current fitness is at a longer distance interval. And as you can see on the screen, I averaged a pace of 3 minutes and 42 seconds per kilometer, which I'm actually quite impressed about. If you take a look on the individual paces for every kilometer, you can see there is quite some inconsistency, which is of course not the most effective way to run, but I'm still very satisfied with my performance because I did put quite a hard effort into this run. So that I didn't run a negative split or anything like that isn't something that I'm going to smash myself in the head about. I'm just glad that I was able to run the 8 kilometers in 3:42 pace, because I still consider it quite a lot faster than my marathon pace was just 1 month ago. So in my mind, I think that the training that I've been doing the last couple of weeks really have benefited me in terms of speed over a longer distance. And I'm quite excited about the run that we're going to do on Sunday to move my fitness even closer to the half marathon in Aarhus. In terms of tomorrow's training, we're going to do a lot lower intensity because we're just headed out for a 8-kilometer run in zone 2 just to get some more kilometers in the legs. Besides that, I don't have any other plans for today besides having a good dinner, so I have a good amount of energy for tomorrow's run. And I will just see you in the morning. It's Friday morning, and I've just woken up and done my activation exercises, which means that I'm now ready to head out the door and do the 8-kilometer run in zone 2. And I'm actually lucky enough to do it with Mikkel, which I always find very nice to run with a running partner. 11 kilometers done in 50 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 32 seconds per kilometer. It's been a couple of hours since the run this morning, but there isn't really anything to say. It was just a casual zone 2 run that went very well. And of course it was much more enjoyable because I did it with Mikkel, which is my 10 out of 10 running partner. In terms of training tomorrow, there isn't going to be any running because I want my legs to be fresh for Sunday's run. But I will do a plyometrics program, which I do every single week as well, one time, usually on Saturday, and it's just a very short 20-minute program where I do a lot of running related exercises to build my explosiveness and strength in my muscles. So a lot of different exercises, especially one-legged exercises that builds balance and strength, and the entire training is just about 20 minutes of actual work. So quite a low impact training session, which of course helps with the freshness in the legs on Sunday. For today and tomorrow I will do my stretching routine one time today and one time tomorrow, and I will also of course do the plyometrics tomorrow, and then I will just see you on Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning, and just like every other week, I'm up before my long run and having my usual oatmeal. And with that, I'm going to drink some energy drink to really fill up some carbohydrates in my body before today's run. Besides that, the weather seems to get very nice later on today when we head out for the run. When we head out for the run in a little bit, we're going to start with a 5-kilometer warm-up, followed by a 15-kilometer tempo run, and then end off with a 5-kilometer cool down. And today actually marks the day where we are only 2 weeks out from the Aarhus Half Marathon, which also means that this is kind of my last chance to really push my fitness towards a better place before the race. So this run is actually going to be a big part of my decision of what pace I will be starting the Aarhus Half Marathon in. And I'm really excited to see how my fitness reacts to this training today. Now I will just let the breakfast settle good in my body, and then we will head out in just a few moments. I'm just about to take my first gel before I do my warm-up, and then I will head out for the run. 25 kilometers done in 1 hour and 41 minutes at a pace of 4 minutes and 1 second per kilometer. As most of you know, I find it very important to get a snack in my stomach as fast as possible after these long runs to kickstart my recovery. And usually I will always have my own homemade recovery bars, but because I'm at my parents' house, I don't have any with me. But a very easy alternative is just to get a little bowl of some raisins and nuts, because that's essentially what I make the recovery bars out of, just mixed with honey and a little bit of other things. But this snack is pretty much the same amount of carbohydrates and fat and protein that I want in this post-run snack. Besides that, I also emphasize drinking some water with electrolytes after these long runs in the heat, because I really want to rehydrate as effectively as possible. What a crazy run this was earlier today. I must say that I probably pushed it just like 5% too much, but we're still 14 days out from the Aarhus Half Marathon, so I'm not worried that I won't recover from this training. But I do feel that my body is working very hard to get back to shape after this run. After the first 5 kilometers, I intended to run the first 10 kilometers of the tempo run in a pace between 3:50 and 3:45, and that part I did. The only thing was that I went out way too hard, which I had to pay for the remaining of the tempo run. Then for the remaining 5 kilometers, I really wanted to see if I could run a pace of 3:45. I think the average was 3:44 in the last 5 kilometers, and the total for the entire tempo run was an average of 3:46 per kilometer. So a very successful training. The only thing was that I went out way too hard. But I would much rather make that mistake during this training than in 2 weeks at the half marathon. And after completing this run, I have made up my mind about what I'm going to start the half marathon in. And I've chosen the pace of 3:45 per kilometer, which is hopefully not a bad decision. So I really hope that you have enjoyed following me through this week. And besides that, the only thing that I have left to do is just that I want to wish you a great rest of the day. Take care.